migration dialogue. A day to look back and count the challenges, but also a day to look forward and renew our commitment. Thank you for your attention.
Look back and audit our challenges, look forward and renew our commitments, and take on board COVID-19 restrictions and the work that the EU has been doing in Nigeria is phenomenal. They have provided capacity for civil society organizations. They have provided support for a lot of work that their implementing partners are doing, and provided massive support for the federal government. Let's hear another round of applause for Mrs. Cecil Tassin Pelzer. Thank you very much indeed. One of the things that she mentioned that is pretty critical is for a closer look to vulnerable persons, especially under COVID-19 atmosphere and restrictions across the world, returning migrants, people who have been trafficked, and younger persons involved in this very business of trafficking. It is crucial that all the organizations involved in the work of migration management take a look at those pointers that the EU has pulled up in her delivery of a goodwill message this morning. We thank you so very much indeed. Going forward, I would like to recognize the Director General, CEO of the National Identity Management Commission, represented by Mr. Elvis Alagbegbe. Mr. Alagbegbe is the Chief Identity Officer for the NIMC. Can we see him? There he is. Welcome. Thank you for coming. And for the International Center for Migration Policy Development, we have Mr. Adeni Bakare. Mr. Bakare, is he in the room? There he is. Welcome. Thank you for coming. I'd like to move forward very quickly by inviting to the podium the representative of the IOM Chief of Mission, Elizabeth Kwage. Encourage her as she comes up to the podium.
Good morning, everybody. I'm representing the Chief of Mission, Mr. Franz Celestine, who is unable to be here. Please permit me to stand on existing protocol. It's a great honor to deliver this goodwill message on behalf of the International Organization for Migration, IOM, at the annual National Migration Dialogue in commemoration of the 2021 International Migrants Day. I would like to thank the Civil Society Network on Migration and Development and the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons for organizing this year's dialogue. Ladies and gentlemen, migration has been and will continue to be an important feature of our world. In 2020, the number of international migrants worldwide was estimated at 281 million, representing around 3.6% of the world population. IOM has assisted the voluntary return of about 24,000 stranded Nigerian migrants back to Nigeria since April 2017, after facing torture, abuse, and exploitation in Libya. These returnees had hopes of crossing the Mediterranean Sea towards Europe. Most of these migrants left their home countries to escape conflict, persecution, and natural and man-made disaster, while others are members of the families of migrant workers. But the common denominator is that they all took risks with the hope of a better future. And many of them have lost their lives in the process of fulfilling their migration aspiration. It is to this end that IOM will continue to dedicate the International Migrants Day to remember all migrants who departed this world while seeking a better future for themselves, and raise awareness among all stakeholders that much can be done to avoid tragedies associated with migration. That migration can be made a story of hope, future, and improvement rather than tragedy and death. That is the reason this individual will remain the center of IOM campaign. We also realize the pivotal role migrants took in weathering the COVID-19 pandemic, as they have been on the forefront, taking care of the sick, providing the essential for all of us who were asked to restrict our movement to the minimum. Migrants are key actors across all dimensions of sustainable development, as they contribute their knowledge, network, and skills to build stronger, more resilient community. Through their work, remittances and the link they build between countries, they reduce poverty, provide vital services, and support families and communities in countries of origin, transit, and destination. According to the World Bank, Nigeria received $21 billion in 2019, making Nigeria the 7th largest recipient of remittances in that year. Although official remittances flow declined in 2020 to $17.2 billion US, due largely to the undermining impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, it still maintains its dominance over foreign direct investment inflows. In view of the developmental potential of migration, the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda and the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration calls for the transformation of migration from the hazardous journey it is today to a safe, regulated, and destigmatized circulation of talent and workforce in order to achieve key development outcomes at home and abroad. IOM is committed to the principle that humane and orderly migration benefits the migrants and the entire society, and has been supporting the efforts of the government of Nigeria to manage migration through capacity building, advisory services, and technical assistance on migration matters, including migration health and information, assisted voluntary returns, and counter-trafficking since the year 2001. These efforts have, among other things, resulted in the development of several initiatives to ensure good governance of migration in Nigeria. IOM believes that good migration policies are development policies, and government can create enabling frameworks at origin and destination countries to maximize the contribution of migrants to national and local development. It is to this end that IOM has supported the government of Nigeria to develop and facilitate the adoption of the National Migration Policy, National Policy on Labor Migration, and the National Diaspora Policy. The adoption of these policies by the Federal Executive Council is an expression of the government of Nigeria's recognition of the benefits of migration and its consequences. However, for the benefit of migration to be well harnessed, migrants must be protected from dehumanizing conditions and treatment. I am on this National Migration Dialogue and the National Migrant Day reiterate the fundamental right to freedom of movement as enshrined in Article 13 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and the contribution of migrants to both countries of origin and destination depends crucially on whether their human rights are safeguarded and protected from discrimination. While we sincerely hope for the actualization of the objective of this year's dialogue, I would like to implore the government of Nigeria to work towards entering into bilateral labor agreement with high destination countries of Nigerian migrant workers, and ensure the speedy ratification and domestication of all international conventions for the protection of migrant workers as envisaged by the National Migration Policy and the National Policy on Labor Migration. This will help in reinforcing the current paradigm shift in migrant well-being, which is a necessary condition in sustaining the much desired migration development nexus, which is the theme of this year's dialogue, human mobility in the context of sustainable development. On this day, I would like to appreciate the European Union, the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, and other development partners for their generous contribution towards tackling the challenges of migration in Nigeria. I would also like to appreciate the National Commission for Refugees, Migrant and Internally Displaced Persons, and all stakeholders for their commitment and support towards this joint initiative. Once again, IOM pledges its continuous commitment to support the government of Nigeria to effectively manage migration, to harness its development benefits for sustainable national development, and also call on concerned state and non-state actors to do the same. Thank you for your attention.
Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows that the International Organization for Migration is very busy in Nigeria doing the needful as a commitment by IOM to help governments achieve sustainable development goals and manage migration issues in Nigeria, collection, analysis, and dissemination of migration data. But more importantly, this morning, the representative of the Chief of Mission has given us statistics to support the work that they're doing, especially bringing back 24,000 migrants who have returned home to come and settle down. And she has also mentioned the destigmatization of migrants as part of what we all must collectively be doing. And to Nigeria as a government, the IOM is appealing and requesting and asking that the international instruments that support migrant workers should be brought on board and ratified. Let's hear another round of applause for Elizabeth Pwagi. Thank you. And finally, in the group of those who are going to be speaking to us and delivering goodwill message today, we have the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, and also the representative of the Swiss ambassador to Nigeria, Ms. Ojoma Ali, who is here to speak to us about the work that is being done by the Swiss government and to provide her goodwill for a day such as this. Ms. Ali.
Good morning, Excellencies, Honorable Federal Commissioner of NCFRMI, representatives of esteemed ministries, agencies, and missions here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you apologies from the Ambassador of Switzerland to Nigeria, Mr. Georg Steiner, who unfortunately couldn't be with us this morning. But I'm pleased to represent the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation at this 2021 National Migration Dialogue with the theme, Human Mobility in the Context of Sustainable National Development, and also the commemoration of the International Migrants' Day. Today, we have very special thoughts for migrants in Nigeria, in Africa, and the rest of the world who struggle for their rights. And we also have deep admiration for all those who contribute so vibrantly through their migratory experiences to the development of communities at home and in their adopted places of residence. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2011, Switzerland and Nigeria established a migration partnership with the purpose of deepening the dialogue and enhancing the cooperation in the field of migration between our two countries. Earlier this year, while marking the 10th anniversary of this successful cooperation, we're proud to have realized 50+ projects across the different areas of capacity building in migration management, border management, the fight against human trafficking, protection of vulnerable migrants, and labor migration. A very fruitful partnership was further established in 2014 with the NCFRMI as the coordinating agency for migration and development issues in Nigeria, leading the consultative process for the implementation of the draft national migration policy. With NCFRMI, Switzerland supported the institutionalization of the National Migration Dialogue, with the first one held in 2014. The National Migration Policy was adopted by the Federal Executive Council in 2015. Progressively, in 2016, the second National Migration Dialogue took place, and more successes have been recorded since then. The annual National Migration Dialogue has created an atmosphere for key actors in the field of migration and development to meet, to reflect upon, evaluate, and monitor activities in the field of migration in Nigeria. Within the context of the theme for today's dialogue, let me mention the Fairway project, which is a Swiss-funded project and being implemented by the International Labour Organization in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment. This is a concrete expression of Switzerland's willingness to use migration as a lever for development in Nigeria. Its objective is to improve the working conditions of migrants, especially African workers, to the Arab states. In November, Fairway supported to revise the 2011 Code of Conduct for Private Employment Agencies in Nigeria. Today, Nigeria has a relevant document which relates to the recruitment cycle, processes involving the engagement of workers in Nigeria, the operations of providers of outsourced personnel, etc. Here, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to highlight that the SDC will focus its new migration program in West Africa for the coming 4 years on labor migration. Specifically for Nigeria, the support will focus on strengthening diaspora-led initiatives for development. It is also the occasion to announce that Switzerland has undertaken concrete and far-reaching actions to strengthen its engagement in Nigeria for employment promotion and vocational training. Switzerland contributes to the GIZ initiative, Skills Development for Youth Employment in Edo State. These activities started this year and will continue for the coming 4 years. Yesterday's Civil Society Day within the framework of this dialogue is yet another key milestone in the cooperation between Switzerland and Nigeria. Switzerland is pleased to have supported the network technically and financially. The CSONet-made initiative to activate dialogue with the Nigerian authorities is commendable. This collaborative environment could not have been made possible without the commitment of the NCFRMI and her supervising ministry, the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and Social Development, as well as other developing partners. And for this, we applaud and appreciate you. At this point, I'd like to wish all participants a very successful and productive day. Thank you for your kind attention.
His Excellency, Ambassador George Steiner, the Swiss ambassador to Nigeria, and the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation have been doing enormous work in Nigeria in the area of migration management. And you heard from Ms. Ojoma Ali, representing His Excellency, about the Fairway project implemented with the support of the International Labour Organization and Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment, for concrete documents that ensure that those who are hired within migration spaces for work are hired with a code of conduct which has been put in place, which this would be in November, as I believe you expressed. Also, there have been 50+ projects in capacity building, in migration management and border management, which has been carried out by the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation. These projects have been carried out across Nigeria. And for the work that the Swiss government is doing in the area of migration management and in the migration architecture area, let us give Ms. Ojomali another round of applause. Thank you so much for all the information you have passed on to us and the work that is continuing and the work that is still to come. We thank you most sincerely. I did see my brother, friend, and my neighbor walk through the door, and he's here from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He is the Director, Consular and Legal Services, His Excellency, Ambassador Bolaji Akinremi. At some point, the organizers were trying to give me his name, and I was saying, don't bother, I know him, he's my neighbor, I see him every day. It's good to see you, welcome. I'd like to note and welcome the representative of the agency NAPTIP. It's represented by Director of Research and Program Development, Olubi Olushayo. Where is he? Thank you very much. Welcome. I'd like to also welcome Hamza Ibrahim Baba, Special Assistant to the Speaker on Humanitarian Affairs, in the Office of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Malam Baba, where are you? There he is. So the Speaker has taken note and indeed has sent somebody of note to come and stay on behalf of the House of Representatives, particularly his office. I'm very fastidious about how names are pronounced, and I'd like to just step back just a little bit and go back to the Assistant Controller General representing the CGI, Isa Idris Jere. Is represented today by Assistant Controller General Edith Onyemanan. Please. Nigerian Immigration Service. So we've done it right this time. Am I correct about that? Yes, indeed. That makes me in the clear. I'd like at this point to remind us all of the thread that has been running through this conversation today. Human mobility in the context of sustainable national. Heard how much was remitted by migrants in Nigeria and remitted by migrants who have left Nigeria. And so they contribute enormously to the economy. And I'm sure that would be part of the conversation as we go forward in the discourse that we'll have later today. Let me remind us again that this year's National Migration Dialogue is pretty unique, especially with the collaboration with the civil society organization. And it is at this point that I would like to invite Ms. Mary Igbenason, the chair of Civil Society Day of the 2021 National Migration Dialogue, to give us a presentation from the civil society organization's resolution. Be careful.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. So for the sake of those that were not here yesterday, we have a call and a response. So when I say CSOs, you echo the voice. CSOs? Thank you very much. This is the outcome of the 2021 Civil Society Day of the National Migration Dialogue, held on the 16th day of December 2021 at Abuja International Conference Center. The inaugural Civil Society Day of the National Migration Dialogue, with the theme, Strategies for the Sustainability of Migration Programs in Nigeria, created an opportunity for civil society organizations to critically examine and interrogate the sustainability of migration programs in Nigeria. During the CSD, 6 thematic group breakout sessions were organized based on the focus of the 5 migration thematic areas in Nigeria, that is diaspora, labor migration and management, border management, data management, return, readmission and reintegration, and emerging migration issues as a 6th breakout group. The guide for discussion was based on the following: recurring issues, emerging issues, priority issues, challenges, and strategies. Permit me to highlight the 10 strategies recommended for the sustainability of migration programs in Nigeria. In no particular order, the strategies are: 1, budgetary allocation. The constant call by migration stakeholders for government to take ownership of migration activities is a major step in the actualization of sustainability. Taking ownership entails a deliberate action in allocating budgets to relevant MDAs involved in migration. 2, sharing data templates and tools in CSO's platforms. The availability of accurate and disaggregated data responds to so many issues inhibiting sustainable development. Agencies responsible for data collection with templates and tools can share with CSOs. These templates can be used for data collection at the grassroots and across project areas. 3, border management in collaboration. To goals in collaboration and involvement of CSOs in the process would complement the activities, build the capacities of CSOs regarding the management of borders. 4, protecting Nigerian nationals abroad. There is no question as to whether or not Nigerian nationals abroad can exercise their basic rights. To achieve the protection of the rights of Nigerian nationals abroad, trust building among these countries is necessary. This can be achieved with improved consular activities. 5, migration resource centers in Nigeria. One key factor of irregular migration is the existence of misinformation and ignorance on the subject matter. These has often led to irregular migration. First, the establishment of more migrant resource centers would not only save lives, but sustain activities relating to awareness creation. 6, return, readmission, and reintegration. There's an important aspect of reintegration which is often not given much attention in the process. That is the reintegration of children. Children, especially the unaccompanied or separated, may have been exposed to vulnerabilities, thus require strategic reintegration. 7, the existing platforms of migration governance architecture. The existing platforms should be retained as they cover sufficiently the Nigerian migration dynamics. However, for sustainability, more responsibilities should be given to non-state actors. 8, agenda setting for migration. The agenda setting for migration programs must be homegrown and in relation to development. 9, inclusion of private sector in migration management. Intentional and strategic engagement of the private sector in migration programs must be given urgent attention. Private sector active engagement would help to address some critical aspects of the root causes of migration, sustainable integration programs, and ownership through funding of migration programs. To implement this, it is recommended that a private sector engagement committee be created within the TWG, that is the Technical Working Group. 10, increase in collaboration between MDAs and CSOs. Effective collaboration in achieving goals cannot be overemphasized. It promotes the spirit of unity. It increases our productivity as migration stakeholders and accelerates the achievement of sustainable development. Finally, by these 10 strategies, CSOs recommend that government take the above issues seriously by adopting a 10-point agenda strategy that takes each issue at a time, and a scorecard we developed for the assessment of progress. CSOs will continue to give their maximum support to the government's efforts towards effective and sustainable migration governance. God bless Nigeria. God bless CSOs on migration. CSOs, thank you very much.
Indeed, the civil society organizations are well known for more work, less talk. And today we have heard some 10-point pointers that have been given by Osato Mary Binasun, who is the chair of the Civil Society Dialogue. And I can hear from her voice the passion with which she believes and continues to lead in doing the work of the Civil Society's Dialogue for the National Migration Dialogue for 2021. And some of the things that she has put on the table include protection of Nigerian nationals abroad and ensuring that they are well catered, Migration Resource Center, the creation of that, more responsibility to non-state actors, taking ownership, which includes budget allocation to stakeholding MDAs, and sharing data. As we know, data is critical for how to go forward in terms of what can be done and what needs to be done for migrants in any host country. I would like to thank Osato Mary Banason, chair of the CSD, and would like to appreciate you with another round of applause. The next portion of our program has to do with basically declaring the National Migration Dialogue 2021 open. And I'd like to invite His Excellency Ambassador Bolaji Akinremi, who will be declaring the NMD open this year. Let's encourage him as he comes up to the podium.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Commissioner for NCFRM High, Your Excellencies, invited guests, the ACG of Immigration, and members of the diplomatic community that are here today. It's indeed an unexpected honor, or will I say, I never imagined that I will be declaring this open. But as a public servant, we're always ready for this. So I thank you so much for this honor. I think it's it's well situated to do this on behalf of the federal government. When I was here yesterday, the kind of energy that I saw in the hall from the CSO shows me that better days are ahead for migrants and migration dialogue and management in Nigeria. And to crown it up with a 10-point as has been delivered to us now, even if you were not here yesterday, you can see that a lot took place yesterday. Today we are set again. And I'm proud to see our sister delivering the message on behalf of the ambassador of Switzerland. That was very kind. Only in March, we had a federal commissioner from Switzerland, the federal chancellor, who was also a cabinet member. And that shows how we've been collaborating with Switzerland and other agencies, IOM, ICMPD, and other agencies. Migration is the first element in fundamental human rights. And where migration is not allowed, then human rights is hindered. And so what we're doing today to mark the International Migrant Day is a pointer to the fact that Nigeria upholds fundamental human rights. And as a nation of over 200 million people, we can only rise to defend our citizens who move all around the world. As a matter of fact, it is said that if you get to a place and there's no Nigeria there, it is not safe for you to stay there. With this viewpoint of mine, may I, on behalf of the federal government, declare open the 2021 International Migrant Day, being celebrated in this National Migration Dialogue today for the benefit of all our citizens all over the world, and for all the people who have gathered here today. May I ask you to rise on your feet. We've heard from the CSOs that when they say CSO, we say the voice. And if we are doing all of this on behalf of migrants, then we should speak in one voice. May I request you that as we launch and declare open this 2021, safety for all our nationals who choose to migrate to any part of the world, say safety. Development unto our nation, as we give to the world gives back to us. Say development to Nigeria. Collaboration to all agencies, CSOs, and individuals involved in migration. Say collaboration. On this three pillar today, we declare the 2021 National Migration Dialogue open for the benefit of all. God bless Nigeria.
Please be seated. Safety, development, collaboration. His Excellency Ambassador Bolaji Akinremi, who has done the honors of declaring open the National Migration Dialogue for 2021. A man who has Nigeria at the center of his heart. Let's give him another round of applause. Migration issues have been with us for a long time. For as long as man has lived, people have moved across the world. Nigerians are considered some of the most traveled people in the world. And wherever you go, as you heard from the good ambassador, you would find a Nigerian there. I recall a former permanent secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who told an incredible story at dinner about how she used to leave Ireland. She was Nigeria's ambassador to Ireland with concurrent accreditation to Iceland. And she also went on to become permanent secretary in the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And she told a story over dinner one evening about how she traveled out of Ireland to go and visit the only Nigerian that was living in Iceland, who was married to a prince in Iceland. And so she was also royalty, and she was Nigerian. And she was the only one that she went to go and spend Christmas with every other year. Nigerians are very well traveled, and they're truly contributing wherever you find them across the world. Let's give a round of applause to our nation. The Valletta Summit on Migration in November of 2015 recognized that migration is a shared responsibility of countries of origin, transit, and destination. EU and Africa worked in a spirit of partnership to find common solutions to challenges of mutual interest. In addition, Leaders participating at that summit agreed and adopted a political declaration and an action plan designed to address the root causes of irregular migration and forced displacement, enhance cooperation on legal migration and mobility, reinforce the protection of migrants and asylum seekers, prevent and fight irregular migration, migrant smuggling and trafficking, and work more closely to improve cooperation on return, readmission, and reintegration. The dialogue and the conversations that will take place at the panel discussions will throw up many issues, including the Nigerian migration and national development, interaction with emerging partners, the Nigerian migration and national development, strides, challenges, and prospects, and the Nigerian migration and national development, charting the way forward. When I have a job at hand, what I do is to research very deeply the areas. And as I saw in some of the objectives of this National Migration Dialogue for this year, in order not to have people repeating the same thing, collaboration is critical, that everybody knows what everybody is doing and there are shared responsibilities. And I think that is really the most important area of field in the conversation today, that we're not stepping on each other's toes, but in fact, we're coming together to enhance whatever we're all doing as a collective. In order for us to recognize and put on the table the many great work that has been done in the area of migration management in Nigeria, there are awards for this year's National Migration Dialogue 2021 for relentless efforts in the coordination of humanitarian work and migrant management. And I'd like to invite to the podium to do us the honors, my sister and the head honcho of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, the Honorable Federal Commissioner Haja Iman Suleiman Ibrahim. And the first person that should be given an award to is the Swiss Agency for Development, and the Swiss ambassador. I'd like also to invite Ms. Ojoma Ali to come forward to receive this award that would be given by this elegant woman. And I'd like you to keep the applause going as Ojoma steps forward. The Swiss government has done a lot of work, and it's time for them to be celebrated and to be appreciated by the government of Nigeria in the person of the Honorable Federal Commissioner. To the Swiss government and the Swiss Agency for Development for the excellent work they have been doing in migration issues.
The Swiss government, through the SDC, have been one of our strongest partners in managing migration for the last 5 years. With this award, in recognition for its immense contribution to development of the migration governance policy and structure in Nigeria, we present you as a token. Thank you so much. Thank you. Permit me to call on the IOM, International Organization for Migration, another key manager for us, key partners in managing migration in Nigeria. Just recently, we have launched one of its kind in Africa, a transit center for returnees in Lagos. We're looking to replicate that across board. Representing the head of mission here is my dear sister, Elizabeth. Elizabeth Wage, yeah. So thank you, Elizabeth. You were there at the press conference. With this award in recognition for your immense contribution to development of migration governance and policy and structures in Nigeria and across the globe. Thank you so much, IOM. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, IOM. Now, I would like to call on the European Union, the EU. The European Union have been one of our major funders around migration issues and even displacement issues in strengthening our policies. So I'd like to use this opportunity to appreciate them so that they don't get tired. They continue to support us. We never get tired. With this award in recognition for your immense contribution to development of migration governance policy and structures in Nigeria. Once again, thank you so much to the EU. I don't know if there's anyone from the ICMPD, the International Center for Migration Policy Management. Okay. They've also been our partners across board, helping us to manage irregular migration so that we can take full advantage of migration and the prospects. ICMPD, with this award in recognition for your immense contribution to development of the migration governance policy structure in Nigeria. Thank you so much. And then finally is the ECOWAS. I don't know if there's anybody from the ECOWAS here. The ECOWAS? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. The awards are for those who have contributed immensely to migration architecture and management in Nigeria. Please give all of them a round of applause. We have 5 more persons who are going to come forward for awards, but before then, it will be good to take a short break and take an interlude. We have persons who would be giving us entertainment that I always consider entertainment with knowledge. I'd like us to celebrate the Honorable Federal Commissioner for doing the honors. Let's give her a round of applause for coming forward to do this for us. We have the Happening Theater all the way from the eastern part of Nigeria, which is led by Gerald Eze from the Center for Migration Studies, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. The Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, in the eastern part of Nigeria is a whole perhaps 5 hours by road and 1 hour by air coming this way. So they've come a long way to present the drama captioned A Better World, which is all about how the effect of this dialogue can enhance effective migration management. I've always been a great fan of dance drama, you entertain, and then you provide education. Help me welcome the Happening Theater to come and perform this dance drama. Are they ready? I can see people holding calabashes and microphones. Okay, that's drama already started. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm aware of these things. So they are inside the audience and they're making their way to the stage. Pay attention to the message and enjoy the entertainment.
Migration governance in the country. Tell us about how effective it will be. Come on, advocates. Let's let them come and perform. Right? Yes. Very, very good. And it reminds me about, yes, you remember when we are on irregular migration? Yes, how they, yes, IOM, he came to rescue us and then give us the opportunity to study at a Center for Migration. Yes, exactly. And we'll be able to go around around Africa. But everything changed. The time they asked us that, they called us that we are going to travel to Germany. You remember? Yes, I do, I remember. and how the pandemic affected our lives. Yes, you see, that is one of the importance of having this dialogue. This dialogue with one another in an organization such as this, or in a conference such as this one, we will find out what regular migration, they look migration. The importance of migration in Nigeria and all over the world. Can I ask you, what is that? Do you think it is possible for us to achieve national? Yes? Possible? Yes? By moving these active participants from one right? Yes, you are right. Yes. And if these performers come out here today to tell us something, I'm sure they will be part of so wonderful and they will know more about migration and human okay, for the national development. So let us allow them to perform. That's all. We're gonna move on. Yes, remember the movement.
We gotta move on. We gotta move on. We gotta move on. 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 Move on. From Nigeria to South Africa, move on. From America to Canada, move on. From Oka to Abuja, move on. We gotta move on. Move on. We gotta move on. Move on. We gotta move on. Move on. Oh, we gotta move on. Move on. We gotta move on. Move on. And we will make our world a better place for everyone, for you and for me. We gotta move on, and we will make our world a better place for everyone, for you and for me. We gotta move on. Move on. Thank you.
Indeed, what an excellent performance. As we know, dance drama is always the one that gladdens our hearts when we see people able to perform music. And this has come from the Center for Migration Studies, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Would like to congratulate them by showing them another round of applause. Want you to thank everybody in Oka and salute them, and thank you for making your way all the way from the eastern part of Nigeria to come and discuss migration and lighten our morning. Thank you very much indeed. We have the next set of awards, but before we get there, it's important for us to look at the Sustainable Development Goals and see the various sustainable development goals that have a nexus with migration, and almost all of them are related to issues of migration. Collaboration is key. SDG 17, SDG 5, gender equality. We must remember that in issues of migration, as those who are in the field will tell you, women are often holding the short end of the stick. You also need to look at the area of conflict management and conflict resolution, because that usually throws up a lot of people who find themselves into the IDP camps from areas of conflict. Those who are working in the northeastern part of Nigeria understand exactly what it means to be coming out of conflict and to be living in these places where the conditions of living are not very good. We also understand that COVID-19 has also exacerbated conflict areas and IDP camps, because this, as you all know, is where you find a 7-year-old who is responsible for her 4-year-old brother because everybody else has passed through either Boko Haram or through certain rural and communal conflicts, or where you find a 13-year-old who has been multiply raped in the IDP camp. This is the work that we're committed to doing in the area of migrant management and in the area of the migration governance. Issues that have to do with migration and migrants is very critical. And as you heard earlier today, we talked about people who have arrived in these migration centers who have been stigmatized and who either have been employed for work and are not being very well treated because everybody knows that they are migrants. But there's work to be done, and there's so much work that has already been done. And so we congratulate and salute all those who are giving their time and their life to the work of migration in Nigeria. Permit me again to invite His Excellency Ambassador Bolaji Akinremi, who will present the next set of awards. And I'd like to invite the first organization whose work is well told by just the title of this UN organization, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. The award for the United Nations High Commission for Refugees is to be handed over by Ambassador Bolaji. Please step up this way. Thank you very much. Step to the right of His Excellency, and then you can collect the award. The purpose for the award, Your Excellency, has been written on the plaque, and you might want to share it with us.
Thank you so much, Madam. This award, with profound appreciation, is given to United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, with these awards in recognition of its immense contribution to the protection and assistance to refugee and asylum seekers in Nigeria, and is presented at the 2021 National Migration Dialogue, this day, 17 December 2021. Signed by Honorable Commissioner for National Refugee Commission, Excellency Iman Sulaiman Ibrahim. It is my honor to present this to UNHCR, heavily represented by Ms. Shindo Bratin.
Congratulations to UNHCR. A plaque that will be placed on the table in great joy and would be at a pride of place on the table of UNHCR. So that we can get the pictures, we'll quickly remove that mask, which is keeping us COVID compliant, and then we'll wear them back after the pictures. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Your Excellency, I want to thank you, and I'd like you to remain standing. You may make your way after. She's going to wear her mask. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Be careful. Use the side. Thank you. I'd like to invite another organization. In 2013, I was national media consultant to the ILO. And I found out that the human trafficking as a trade was almost as big as drug trafficking and was pretty tragic in some of the information that I got. And I know that the work that International Labour Organization does is to protect migrants who are workers across the world. Let me therefore invite International Labour Organization for the next award, ILO, or their representation in the room. Is anybody here for ILO? May we invite any other UN organization here to please come forward and collect this award for International Labour Organization? Thank you so much, please. Elizabeth is coming forward to do the honors for ILO. IOM is coming to receive the award for the International Labour Organization.
This award is given to International Labour Organization, with this award in recognition of its immense contribution to the development of migration governance, policy, and structure in Nigeria, presented at the 2021 National Migration Dialogue, this day, Friday, 17th December 2021, and signed by the Federal Commissioner. Thank you.
Honors have been done. Representation for ILO has been by the representative of the Chief of Mission for IOM, Elizabeth, and she will take this award and deliver it appropriately where it is meant to go. And His Excellency has spoken the words that give them this award for the work that they've been doing in Nigeria. Congratulations to the ILO. Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for accepting to do this for us. The next organization that is coming forward to receive the award is the Civil Societies Network on Migration Development, CSO NetMade. Civil society is alive in the room. And Doctor is on his way to collect that award on behalf of the organization. Be careful. Okay.
The Civil Society Network on Migration Development, CSO NetMade, with this award in recognition of your immense contribution to the development of migration governance, policy, and structure in Nigeria. This award is presented on this day, the 17th December 2021, at the 2021 National Migration Dialogue, signed by the Honorable Federal Commissioner. And Doctor, I think you well deserve this.
Congratulations. Congratulations to Dr. Emeka Obiezu. Vice. Congratulations. His Excellency knows that those of us that are from public service and some of us that have also leaned towards civil society in the work of women in development understand what CSOs are up to. Without them, we cannot reach the grassroots because they are the ones who are working in those areas on behalf of all of us. So congratulations to you. I'd like at this point to call on the Assistant Comptroller General to please come forward for the Nigerian Immigration Service to come and receive her award. No, you cannot go yet, Your Excellency. You have to stay. Is making her way. Let's celebrate her. You have to be careful, so step on this side. Thank you. The Immigration Service has been very busy at our borders, looking after those who have found their way into Nigeria. And this is an opportune time to say thank you to them for all the work that they're doing.
With profound appreciation, this award is given to Nigeria Immigration Service, NIS, in recognition of its relentless effort towards border management and issuance of convention travel documents, CTC, to refugees and asylum seekers in Nigeria. It's presented this day, Friday, 17 December 2020, at the 2021 National Migration Dialogue, and signed by the Honorable Federal Commissioner. It's an honor to give to the ACG Migration. It is an honor well deserved.
A truly well-deserved honor. And today the CGI is represented by the Assistant Comptroller General, Edith Onyemenam. Thank you so much for coming to honor our invitation. Welcome. This way. And finally, last but not the least, of course, is the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, whose job is well known to us, the coordinating ministry, the stakeholding ministry, and the ministry that also oversees the work that is being done at the National Commission. And I'd like to ask the Honorable Federal Commissioner to come and collect this award for the Honorable Minister. Thank you very much. And this work being done, which is work for humanity, has been done by the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, and they have been at it for the longest. Would like to congratulate them. Please encourage her as she comes forward.
I think it's a case of the awarder becoming the awardee. All right. This award is for the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and Social Development. And it is towards its relentless effort in recognition of humanitarian affairs in Nigeria and realization of national policy on IDPs, amongst others. It is presented today, Friday, 17 December 2021, at the 2021 National Migration Dialogue, and it is signed by the Federal Commissioner standing right here before me. Thank you for receiving the award on behalf of the Federal Ministry.
Congratulations to the Honorable Minister, whose work is unprecedented and unparalleled in the area of humanitarian. Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, and all the team within that ministry who have done such great work. Your Excellency, Ambassador Bolaji, your work is done. We thank you. Thank you very much for doing the honors. As I had mentioned much earlier today, it is important for there to be that nexus that tells us that the SDGs are related to issues that are specific, that are migrant related. And this is a commitment that the IOM has made to ensure that they continue to provide that connection. SDG 1, no poverty. SDG 3, good health and well-being. SDG 4, quality education. SDG 5, gender equality. SDG 8, work and economic growth. SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. 17, partnership for the goals. 13, climate action. 16, peace and justice. These SDGs are directly connected to migrant-related issues and must be looked at more closely and more critically by all stakeholders. It is at this point that I would like to thank everyone in this first session of today and to remind you that we will be having quite a number of panels after the tea break. The Nigerian Migration and National Development Strides, Challenges and Prospects, the Nigerian Migration and National Development Interaction with Emerging Partners, the Nigerian Migration and National Development, Charting the Way Forward. And I'd like to please urge you to stay back to attend to listen to those panels who have such knowledge to give, where we can pick up best practices that would help us in the work that we're doing for migrants on this day for the National Migration Dialogue, and also in the cusp of the International Migrants Day 2021. It is going to be tea break in a short while, in another 5 minutes, but I'd like to invite those in the front row for a group photograph with the Honorable Federal Commissioner and our guests who have come in. So come forward, the first row. Let's take the picture, and after that, they will be joined by all our stakeholders and partners that are in the room. But please, I'd like to invite the first row to come forward for the group photograph. And then there will be a second layer of good photographs. I'll be waiting to hear from Banke who those people are in the second one. Please, on the stage is better because we have, but I'd like to ask media to switch off this, camera on this, because it's going to reflect in the picture and we don't need that. Thank you. So the pictures are ready. And Banke, are you doing me a second round after this group have taken? You'd let me know who those people would be. Please be careful as you come up the steps. Please, madam. Be careful, be careful. You need, be careful in that place. You're welcome. Okay, so let's get this picture on the road. More people to that side, please. You need to go to the other side. Let the gentleman flank, madam. There you go. Oh, no, 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 no. You should come back and flank the ACG. Yes, please. Thank you. Yes, you may stick your head behind them because, you know, so the curve is fine. You have to stick your head because, yes, thank you. All right. The photographers do the honors. Banke. So we have one photograph that speaks the story of what happened today in this first portion. Be careful as you step forward. This way, please. Thank you. One more, just one more. Thank you very much indeed. Please step forward. Tea break is ready. The front row will go before everybody else. I'd like to thank you for your attention for this first portion of this National Migration Dialogue. And I'd like to congratulate the Honorable Federal Commissioner for the success of this first part. And we look forward to the second part where the panels will take place. The photograph that is going on now is between, the conversation going on now is between the National Federal Commissioner, the Honorable Federal Commissioner, and Ambassador Akinremi, who has been a rallying point in its coordination of bilateral and multilateral agreements relating to migration governance in Nigeria. The photographs are worthy, and His Excellency Ambassador Akinremi is the Director, Counsel and Legal Services of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I'd already said so much earlier in the day. We congratulate everyone. Give yourselves a round of applause. Make your way to tea after the front row, and then afterwards, please come back for the panel discussions. Thank you very much. My name is Eugenia Abu. It's been a pleasure to serve.
No one time like that. That even from home they can, like we can And then we can give them some points like what they need, what they can add to the product. So the moment what they are doing in this organization doesn't make any sense at all. That it's
another world. Cause me energy high, they don't see me a grace, so